Welcome, everybody, to Interviews with Experts here with UprofitPro, and we've got a real special session today because we're going to be talking to one of my favorite people in the entire direct selling industry and someone who I've known for years and years now. She's become like a sister, and it was interesting because some of you who've watched videos from me, you know that I've referred to the dairy farmer in a certain example that I used where I had enrolled this person from this place called New Zealand and enrolled her in an opportunity, and she became the number one producer, bar none, just amazing. And she started as a dairy farmer, and I've got none other than the most famous dairy farmer in the world, Miss Delwyn McKenzie, with us here today. Delwyn, welcome to the interview. How are you?
John, I'm absolutely awesome, and it's my pleasure to be here. How are you?
You know what? I'm spectacular. Now, you're in Auckland, New Zealand right now?
Yes, I am. Absolutely. I'm sitting on a cliff top overlooking the ocean. I have the view of the ocean during the day, and I get the city lights at night, so it's absolutely beautiful here.
That is spectacular. I love Auckland. What a great city. I remember it was just not too long ago, maybe a year and a half ago, you had brought me out there. You and one of your partners brought me out there to do a workshop. We did a seminar together. And it was awesome. Every time I can go to Auckland, I take the opportunity if I can be there. It's just a great city. How close are you to the Sky Tower?
Well, I've actually got a view of the Sky Tower from where I'm sitting, but to drive there would take about 20 minutes.
That's awesome. Well, it's taller than the Eiffel Tower, right?
Yeah,
Just
absolutely.
barely.
I've actually jumped off the Sky Tower. I was very brave one year and decided that I was going to leap off it, get over some fear of heights, and it was pretty exciting.
Well, there we go. I guess there's our topic for the interview, overcoming the fear, right? Because I think that's probably not uncommon for people to get that far up. I don't know how high it is, but it's pretty damn high. And I guess you bungee jumped off. I'm guessing you didn't hang, what was it called? Base jump or anything, right? You had a wire?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I know there's some people that like base jumping, but here's the thing though. It's not too different than leaping into entrepreneurship, which you apparently did. Okay, back when we met. Now, just to, I guess, maybe share a little bit of your story. I know that you had done some studying of how to be successful and be an online marketer. You were studying Google and taking course after course and all this sort of thing before we had met. So you had already a strong interest in becoming successful in ways other than squeezing udders. And by the way, everyone, I did visit Delwyn on the dairy farm years and years ago. I had gone out there just to see, what's this actual experience like, because I'd grown up in, the New York City area. I didn't know anything about dairy farming. So I'm thinking, here's this person who comes into direct selling, becomes successful, outrageously successful. I got to see the environment. And it was shocking. I mean, you had the cows, you had alpacas, dogs running around, beautiful mountain views and everything else. And you operated essentially $1 million business out of a little farmhouse right there. But there was that transition, though, to go from, obviously now you're the city girl, you're in the biggest city in New Zealand, got the view of the Sky Tower, the cliff, the whole thing. Tell us about that transition and some of the things that led up to it, like maybe this, searching online and doing the courses and all that. And what was the thing that caused Delwyn to actually come into her own and become that leader that everyone knows and loves now?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I remember it very clearly. I'm on the dairy farmer, and year after year you're working 7 days a week and getting up at 4:30, and you're falling into bed at, 8 o'clock, or falling asleep on the couch before 8 o'clock. And I had got to the age of about 38. I'm a lot older than that now, but I'd got to the age of 38 and I started to think, well, geez, nothing's going to change. I'm going to be doing this year after year after year and get the same results. And as much as the dairy farm is a nice lifestyle, for the kids, they had their bikes and their horses. It's hard work. And at 38, I was starting to think, there's no way I want to be doing this in 2 years' time, 3 years' time, 5, 10. And I could see myself still milking cows at the age of 60. And that scared me so much, working hard and getting the same result. So I started to think, how could I make more money? And really the money was about freedom. I didn't want to be tied working so hard. I wanted to be able to enjoy my life because I felt like I was this insignificant person in the middle of nowhere. And I hadn't really done anything with my life. I was just existing, doing what I was doing. So I started to have a thought, maybe, just maybe, I could be successful at something else. Maybe I could bring in cash flow, money, so that I could have freedom and start enjoying my life and be on purpose and, you know, go after things that I desired. So it did start with that thought, and I found myself in a bookshop, about a week later, and I was actually buying things for the kids, you know, their schoolwork stuff, as you do, being a mother. I have 6 kids, handy on the dairy farm, and a book jumped out at me. It was Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and I thought, oh, okay, well, there's the word rich. I better read that book and see what that's all about. And he talked all about business and property and things like that. And there was just one line in there that really jumped out at me. And it is none of my business what other people think of me, because up until that time, I definitely was at the mercy of everybody's thoughts. I was so afraid of failing or doing anything different or even having an opinion because of what other people thought of me. It really ruled my life. And in that one moment, it was kind of like, you know what? Yeah, I don't care what other people think of me. This is my life, and I'm going to get out there and I'm going to see what I can do. It wasn't that I knew that I was going to be successful. I just thought, I'm going to give this a shot. I didn't really know the direction I was heading in, but I just started to focus on, how can I make a change in my life? How can I create wealth for myself? I'm going to try. And again, I did not want to be 60 and look back over my life, you know, because 60 is getting a bit, well, not old, but, you know, it's getting up there, you know. And I just thought to myself, you know, I really want to try and see if I can do something with my life. Let's see what Delwyn McKenzie can do. And I wasn't afraid of failing anymore. And I just started charging forward, reading book after book after book, not necessarily knowing where I was going, but in those books I started to get some knowledge and started to understand how the successful people in this world create success for themselves. And they are doing things a certain way. They are thinking a different way. And I just started this whole journey. I mean, I certainly didn't wake up one morning and read a book and money fell out of the sky, but I started to learn how to do things differently.
Well, you know, that's interesting. You mentioned money falling out of the sky, because I think sometimes with some of the things we see, especially in the internet marketing world, lottery mentality type programs, microwave results, right? And wow, look at me, I'm an idiot. I just got lucky, and now I make all this money, and you can too, right? So I don't know. Is that obviously not the experience you had? I never had that experience. Right?
No, well,
yeah.
Well, you know what, John? I was actually hoping for that. I definitely did start out there thinking that somebody would save me, someone would give me this magic button, and all this money would definitely just fall out of the sky. But I soon learnt, and I must admit, when I learnt that, you know, being successful is learning different stuff and you're going to have to work at it. It's going to take some time. I was really disappointed. And at that point, I must admit too, I nearly gave up. I thought, oh, geez, I don't want to be doing this, you know, work hard and figure this all out. You know, it's too much work. But then again, if I didn't do it, what have I got? The same old thing. So I thought, well, you know what? Doesn't matter how long this takes me. I'm just going to keep working at it until I have that success, or at least know that I tried to change my circumstances. So it was like, oh, well, I rolled up the sleeves and thought, well, I better get stuck in and start learning some stuff and, you know, and see what happens. At that stage, it was like, let's see what happens. Obviously, as time goes on, you learn some more stuff and you have a target in mind and you start heading towards that. And one of the seminars I went to, like I was a seminar junkie. I went to every seminar I wanted to know and I needed to know now. They did say you have to find your passion because you're never going to excel at anything unless you love what you do. And I remember sitting there going, oh, great. Now I've got to figure out what it is that I love to do. I don't know what I love to do. I've never actually had to think about that. But obviously on the journey of going to seminars and reading books and things like that, I started to develop a desire that I wanted to be teaching people how to make success for themselves, how to change their lives, you know, get out of the humdrum of what they're doing, that they can create something different for themselves. And I became very passionate about that. I still didn't know what that looked like. It was just a thought in my head. So again, I started to think, you know what? I see how this all works. I had results. I started to get results. And definitely when I had huge results, I thought, okay, I get this now. And now I want to teach other people to do that. And obviously, again, doors started to open. Things started to change where I could express that to other people. Because we don't have to settle for where we are right now. You know, nothing is actually happening to you. You can create a different world for yourself, and it starts with a